What's up, guys? We are back today with some NFL content, but don't worry, my MLB picks for today are in the pinned comment below and also in a community post every day. In this video, we are going to break down each team in the NFC North, and I will give you my early Week 1 bets for their games. Before we jump into these breakdowns, do me a big favor and hit that like button, guys. It only takes 1 second and helps out the channel a ton. If you like these videos, go ahead and subscribe. It's 100% free and can notify you about new videos or anytime that we go live. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and join our free email list. And check out our top confidence plays on all the major sports, including NFL preseason premium content. Get in there now for maximum value. Comment below with what you think about these teams or anything that you see coming for this NFL season, or any questions you have about the MLB games today. We respond to every single comment, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the Chicago Bears, who come into this season. They're going to be their third year here under coach Matt Eberflus. It's his third year, guys, and boy, has he made some changes here. We've got Caleb Williams now under center to help out a team that went 7-10 last year and missed the playoffs. Lots of changes here, and man, Caleb Williams looking great here right out of the gate in his first preseason action in a game we saw the Bears just dominate the Buffalo Bills. It was the preseason, so take it with a grain of salt and everything, but 33-6 and Caleb Williams looking good out there. That is a very good sign for the Bears. I mean, yeah, that's the name of the game for him this year. This Heisman winner walks into a loaded roster of offensive weapons, including DJ Moore, who's coming off a big season, and newly acquired Keenan Allen and DeAndre Swift. Obviously, a lot here hinges on this rookie quarterback being able to live up to all the hype, but by all reports, he is the real deal and fully capable of running this offense and making all the plays that they need him to make. And yeah, guys, with a ton of offensive weapons, I mean, this feels like a pretty spoiled situation for a rookie. I think the Bears are maybe slightly overrated with all the hype that's going on, but man, if he can live up to all this hype, this could be a very dangerous team here right out of the gate. I mean, he's shown a lot of talent, so have all the guys around him, so they're more proven. If he's even, pretty good, we could be in a great situation here. The Chicago Bears fans could be in for a really, really fun year. So we'll see what happens there on that side of the ball. In terms of the defense for the Bears, we see Eric Washington coming in for his first year. Obviously, adding Montez Sweat in the middle of last season brought about substantial change within Chicago. I mean, they allowed 10 less points per game after bringing him on board. That is absolutely crazy to see that big of a change. I'm not expecting miracles from this unit necessarily in Eric Washington's first season at the helm, but yeah, I mean, they do have the third easiest schedule in the league and a unit that is showing improvement, so I don't think it's going to be a disaster for the Bears on defense this season, and there's some reason to think that this could be, maybe top 10, maybe top 12-ish defense in the National Football League. So if that happens to be the case, and we see Caleb Williams panning out in a big way, and, they can stay healthy and all that normal stuff that you need in every football situation, yeah, this team could definitely be on their way to improving a lot on that 7-10 record, even under a rookie quarterback who, generally speaking, a rookie quarterback usually going to have some struggles in his first year in the NFL, but yeah, maybe those rules don't apply to Caleb Williams. So looking at their first game of the season, their Week 1 matchup here, they've got the Tennessee Titans coming to town. The Bears are 4.5-point favorites. So honestly, guys, with how good Williams looked in game 1 of his pro career, I would say you might want to take a look at locking in that -4.5 if you're, determined to be on this game. Generally speaking, I'm not seeing a lot of good things coming down the pike for the Tennessee Titans. I think they're going to have a pretty rough time this season. They're already seeing some injuries happen. There's big questions about how good Levis can really be this season. So yeah, I also don't know how good their defense is going to be. So generally speaking, I do think the Bears -4.5 might be some reasonable value in this game. Something that concerns me a lot, though, is this is probably going to be one of the biggest public bets of the weekend, I would think. I mean, yeah, so I would assume there's going to be just massive money on the Bears, especially if we continue to see Williams having a good time out there. So yeah, maybe just a slight lean towards the Bears -4.5. In terms of the over-under, which is 43.5, I would actually not mind taking a little bit of a look here at the under. I mean, we'll see what the weather's like in Chicago and stuff like that. I'm not expecting anything crazy. Obviously, it's too early in the season, but yeah, you might want to take a look at that. If it could be a super windy game, like maybe we won't see a ton of offense, and I'm not super high on what the Titans are going to be able to do. They're obviously dealing with injuries already, so yeah, I'm not really sold on this over-under spot, but I do think the Bears to win this game by, anything significantly less than a touchdown might be some fairly decent value. Just watch out for all the public money that's going to be on that game. Next up in the NFC North, guys, we've got the Detroit Lions, a team that everybody seems like they're maybe slightly forgetting about right now. I mean, they had an amazing season a year ago, going 12-5 overall, losing eventually in the conference championship game in a heartbreaker there to the San Francisco 49ers, guys. I don't know if you watched that wide receiver show on Netflix, but yeah, it really broke that down well. It was cool to get a peek behind the curtain there on Amon-Ra St. Brown, and yeah, just an amazing season there for the Lions, who are looking like a pretty good team. I think Dan Campbell is a great coach, and I love that he's a guy that's willing to gamble and go for it on fourth downs and stuff like that. So I think that's all very, very positive for this team. I mean, last season was an amazing one. A great production from Jared Goff, who did have some issues, but played well when the situations demanded it. And yeah, I mean, over the course of his career, guys, we've seen this be a dude that can have his issues at different times in the season. So we'll see what he can do. Will he be able to have a similar or better season here in 2024? Honestly, guys, your guess is as good as mine. I think it's definitely possible. I think he's got some good weapons around him. The offensive line had some changes, but they should remain pretty solid. The wide receiver core could be getting a boost here from Jameson Williams, but we're more interested in the continued success of Amon-Ra St. Brown and the Lions just continuing to have a very, very good running game. Overall, guys, this offense looks very, very scary. I'm expecting definite good stuff here from the Lions. Are they going to make big improvements over last season? I don't know if that's likely, but I do think they're likely to be at least as good as they were a year ago, and that was very, very good, guys. One of the better offenses in the National Football League. So yeah, definitely expecting good stuff from this unit. A question for this team is their defense. I mean, we've got Aaron Glenn leading the way for them as their defensive coordinator, and the Lions defense had some problems the last year, guys, but they're doing their best to address them. I mean, they're improving at cornerback. They signed Meek Robertson, got Carlton Davis from Tampa Bay, and they picked up cornerbacks with each of their first 2 draft picks. So definitely looking to boost this secondary as much as they can. Now they should have some secondary depth, which is also very, very helpful, guys. I mean, you have one cornerback go down and all of a sudden the opposing team just starts targeting whoever you have to bring in. Like, that can be a huge problem and a huge morale killer there for that unit. So we'll see how they look. I'm expecting better stuff from this defense, generally speaking. If the secondary really can improve and the defense overall becomes a plus unit, this team could definitely compete for a Super Bowl this season. I don't think that's too crazy to say. I mean, they were right there knocking on the door last year. Really probably should have won that game there against the 49ers. So expecting very, very good stuff from the Lions overall this season. Are we expecting great stuff from their defense? That remains to be seen. I'm going to need to see a little bit here in the preseason and see what they can do. I mean, they lost their first preseason game. That doesn't really matter. But generally speaking, the Lions, a team that I am pretty high on. I know that's not a major shock. Looking at their week 1 matchup here, we've got the Rams going on the road to take on the Lions, who are 3.5-point favorites in this game. We have an over-under of 51 in this game, which honestly, with these two offenses going up against each other, that makes absolute sense to me. So we'll see what we get going out there. We have to notice here that Goff is 7-0 against the spread in his career in season opener. So pretty sure that's his whole career, which is a pretty crazy number. So that makes us want to lean towards the Lions -3.5. I mean, in terms of the over-under for this game, 51 seems like a ton of points, but guys, you could see this being, a 25-31 kind of game, somewhere in that range. And I mean, I don't know. I'm unlikely to be betting an over-under spot of 51 in terms of an over, especially here in week 1, but I think we're going to see plenty of offense in this game. I don't think there's a lot of reason to think we won't. I don't think the Rams defense got better last season in the offseason. I think it got much worse. The Lions defense maybe got better, but I don't think it's going to be insane. So yeah, maybe I lean towards over 51, as crazy as that sounds, but I definitely think the Lions -3.5, riding that big Goff trend, could be something we'll want to look at. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Green Bay Packers, who come into this season as one of the league's darlings for sure. Matt LaFleur looking to, lead this team to even more success. They went 9-8 last year, beat Dallas in the wild card game, then lost 21-49 at the 49ers there in the divisional round. That was a very, very close game. Honestly, guys, the Packers were able to give the 49ers all they could possibly handle. And yeah, this team looking poised for a breakout year. I mean, Jordan Love looked like the real deal last season, rewarded with a huge contract. The Packers committing to him to be their legitimate franchise quarterback. Seems like Green Bay once again, after Brett Favre, then they had Aaron Rodgers, now they've got Jordan Love. And man, it has to feel awfully nice for a franchise to just hit it out of the park with every single quarterback they look at. They're like, oh yeah, this guy's going to be the guy. And then sure enough, down the road, he absolutely is. So congratulations to them there. Love had a great 2023 despite Christian Watson missing 8 games. And there's hope that an improved offensive line, which will definitely help, and a better running game thanks to the addition of Josh Jacobs, as well as, hopefully a healthy season for guys like Christian Watson. This unit could be poised to be much better than it was a year ago, and it was pretty freaking good, especially down the stretch last season. So definitely expecting good things from them. Not a lot being said here about their upgrade at running back. I think Josh Jacobs could be an absolute monster for this team, and obviously just having health there in the wide receiver core would make a big difference. And Jordan Love, guys, he really does look like the real deal. So I'm excited to see what the Packers can do this season on offense. I think it's going to be a very good year for them there. In terms of their defense, guys, we've got Jeff Hafley coming in. It's his first season as defense coordinator, he's a big secondary guy, and that is somewhere they need to definitely improve. It's a young defensive unit overall for the Packers. They've got a lot of first-round talent out there, though, so that's definitely a very, very good look. Plenty of room to improve and plenty of room here for guys to thrive. I'm expecting a lot of good stuff. Plenty of reason to think that Jeff Hafley can make this unit better by adding in Adrian Cooper from the draft. That is absolutely not going to hurt a defense that had its issues last season. I think they're definitely pointed in the right direction, guys. I mean, I'm not necessarily expecting miracles. I don't think they're going to be like a top 2 or 3 defense, but I think they could be, pushing there to be a top 10 defense. I think the secondary can get much, much better. And yeah, generally just expecting a lot of good things here from Green Bay. I mean, they're a young team and definitely headed up. Like, arrows are pointing up here for the Green Bay Packers. And yeah, a lot of good things for the Cheeseheads to be excited about coming into this season. I'm excited for them. I'm not even really a Packers fan. So we'll see what they can do out there. We'll see what they look like in their week 1 matchup going up against the Philadelphia Eagles, who the Eagles actually playing at home in this game are 1.5-point favorites. So, basically a pick-em game. Generally speaking, in this game, guys, a lot is still up in the air. We got to see how that Eagles situation shakes out with the whole head coach and quarterback feud going on. The Packers are looking really, really good and getting a 1.5 despite playing on the road. I do think I maybe lean towards the Packers in this game, but like I said, a lot of unknowns still to be seen. We'll see how good Jordan Love looks in whatever preseason action he gets. We'll see how this Packers defense is rounding into form. So a lot of unknowns in this one. Maybe a slight lean towards the Packers, but we'll have to wait and see. In terms of the over-under of 48.5, guys, I do think we're probably looking at an under spot if you ask me, but we're a long way off. We'll see what we get from these defenses. If they both really improve and they both look good out there, maybe we can go with the under, but yeah, a lot still to be seen in this game. So yeah, kind of a pick your own adventure, but don't worry. Once things get closer here, we'll have a much, much better take on this game for you. Rounding out the NFC North here, guys, we've got the Minnesota Vikings. They're coming into this season with a lot of changes going on. We got Kevin O'Connell still at the helm. It's his last year of his contract, so a contract year here for the head coach. We'll see what he can do. He didn't really get, a full deck last season. They went 7-10 last year, missed the playoffs. We've got no more Kirk Cousins for the Vikings. Definitely a scary proposition, but they retained Justin Jefferson, so whether they decide to start rookie J.J. McCarthy, who, did look pretty good there in his first preseason action there against the Raiders. He had a deep ball in that game for his first touchdown of his career, so that had to feel pretty good. Whether they go with him or Sam Darnold under center, they should be able to produce something just by throwing the ball up for grabs to one of the best wide receivers in the league. Obviously, guys, I'm expecting big things from Justin Jefferson. It's weird. You don't usually see this from wide receivers, but he seems quarterback proof. Like, whoever is throwing him the ball, as long as they can just kind of get it out there to him, he can go up and get it. So there's a reason he's getting paid like one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. I think he very, very much deserves that new contract. So yeah, expecting decent stuff out of the passing game despite the uncertainty right now at quarterback. The hope is that this running game can emerge a little bit with the addition here of Aaron Jones, but he's coming off of a pretty weak season and an injury-riddled year there with the Green Bay Packers. So we'll see what he's got. I mean, I'm not expecting him to be terrible or anything like that, but I also don't know how much I necessarily trust this offensive line. I mean, I think they'll be fine, but is this really, are we going to see an Aaron Jones renaissance here for the Vikings? That seems like kind of a big ask, but like I said, we'll see what we get. We're going to need some decent quarterback play for this team to be, better this year than they were a season ago, but I think Justin Jefferson, while you might not want to draft him first in any of your fantasy leagues, I do think he's still a pretty valuable guy. So yeah, we'll see what we get from this offense. A lot of question marks surrounding the quarterback position, which, kind of an important position, but we're going to take a look now at their defense, guys. Brian Flores leading the Vikings defense here in his second season as defensive coordinator. Snapping up Dallas Turner in the draft could be a huge deal for a defense that was not good a season ago, and picking up this elite linebacker with the 17th pick overall could definitely help. I mean, behind the leadership of Brian Flores, they're trying to kind of remake this defense, adding in guys like Jonathan Greenard and Blake Cashman, and while they have a long way to go, they could certainly be better this year than they were a season ago. It was pretty rocky stuff out there for their defense last year. Not a lot of crazy positives. So yeah, they're definitely hoping that they can kind of turn things around. They've brought in a lot of pieces. If those pieces can work out, I do expect this defense at least to be better than it was a season ago. So looking at their opening game of the season, they're playing on the road. The Vikings are going to be at the New York Giants, who are getting a point in this game. So the Vikings actually, slight favorites, I guess, in what is effectively a pick-em game. We've got an over-under of 41.5 right now. This is a really tough game to figure out, guys. We don't even know who the starting quarterback is going to be from the Vikings right now, so we need a lot more information before we can make a significant lean. Right now, I probably think the Giants +1 might be a decent spot, getting to play at home in this one, and I do expect the Vikings to have some problems this season, no doubt about that. Although, this isn't really the two best teams going up against each other, but I would say the Giants are maybe more poised to have a bounce back season they were a year ago, and they're getting to play at home, so that definitely helps. In terms of the over-under, we've got an over-under of 41.5. We do have two teams in this game that I think are going to be wanting to throw the ball quite a bit, but we'll see. We really don't know how these offenses are going to look necessarily. So if it looks like they're going to be focused on the passing game, obviously taking over 41.5 would be pretty appealing. Still need a lot more information before we can give you a great lean on this game, guys. But yeah, that's pretty much how I'm looking at this week 1 matchup. That's everything we have for the NFC North, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any NFL questions that you have. Don't forget to check out the community post and the pinned comment for my daily MLB predictions. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out StumpTheSpread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.